as a result of performing Dharma. Of course, devotional service is more than Dharma, but it's also Dharmic. And there will be artha, there will be economic development, or nice material circumstances will come as a result of that. So in the mode of passion, then this is the goal, and one is attached. One wants to enjoy the fruits of one's activities and have a nice material situation. So that might be the goal also. It can be, I think Prabhupada says, one place that actually, as long as one is not on the real pure, as a pure devotee, then the devotional service is just a way of maintaining, it's just another phase of materialism, and one is utilizing devotional service simply to maintain a nice material circumstance. So that's the mode of passion. Mode of goodness, one is engaged in devotional service simply to get liberation, to get freedom from sinful reaction, to get freedom from the fruitive results of one's activities. And that's also the result of performing devotional service. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Durena Hyaram Kama Puriyo Katanandeya, that once you keep all abominable material activities by distance, far distance, simply by engaging in devotional service. When one is engaging in devotional service, these activities are have no fruits, have no material fruits. All other activities will bind one, but practicing devotional service is there are no material, there's no binding effect from performing devotional service. So in the mode of goodness, one is acting in devotional service, so to not be bound up by material existence in order to become liberated. So that's the mode of goodness, and that's not bad actually. That's not like one stage, because we also know we should come to the mode of goodness and then we should transit, but we should not get stuck in the mode of goodness. We should continue further, in the mode of goodness, it's a good mode to work from, but once you cultivate, go further, and actually come to the transcendental platform, where Kapila he describes a symptom of the transcendental platform is that one is immediately attracted by descriptions of Krishna's names, forms, pastimes. That's someone who is on that platform. So again, that's also something we can test ourselves. Are we immediately, when we hear Krishna's name or hear a recitation of Bhagavatam, transcendental literature or lecture, or are we immediately attracted? And if we're not, then we're not on the highest platform. That's actually symptomatic of the highest platform. If we're not attracted when there is a lecture, kirtan, japa, then we are in the modes of material nature. So that's all described by Kapila Deva, and it's important to understand the science of devotional service in detail. Not only the simple. The simple is always there. It's always based on the simple, and we have never passed, or we never so advanced that we beyond the point of understanding how we are not this body and how we are Krishna's servant and how we are eternal and so on. It's always there, but also we have to understand more and more details and understand the process of devotional service and understand the different stages that we are going through, so we don't get stuck on a certain point. Because if we get stuck, then again, the material ocean will again cover us over. We have to keep on and never be satisfied with nothing, and nothing but pure devotional service, come to the point of actually pure, practicing pure devotional service. And then, of course, if one is actually practicing devotional service on that platform, then one is not satisfied. I mean, meaning, one of course is very satisfied, very happy, but one is not like complacent and say, this is already good enough. One is very still, ambitious, striving. Like we saw Prabhupada was never satisfied in devotion, so he wanted more for Krishna all the time. There was no satiation point for Prabhupada's ambitions for spreading Krishna consciousness. And that's the pure devotee, he just wants more and more for Krishna. So there's also an important thing that one has to be careful not to get stuck on this, in ignorance, passion, in goodness. Or, there's a nice analysis of different stages where one can get stuck on in Lalitanatha discusses what is it? What is that book called? Thakur's can someone mention a book by Thakur? No? Kadambini, isn't it Madhurya Kadambini? That's a book, isn't it? Mm. So that's actually a book. It's also, there's Yadav Shadatatha Satu Sankata Padina Kriya, 2 verses from Nectar of Ocean by Rupa Goswami, that in the beginning there is some faith, some shraddha. One has in the beginning shraddha in the process of devotional service, and one starts associating with devotees, and then after associating with devotees, and one engages in bhajana kriya, in actually practicing devotional service. And then as a result of practicing devotional service, there is anartha nivritti, the anarthas, one gets purified from all the unwanted, anarthas, all the contamination one has in one's heart, one becomes purified, and as one gets purified, one comes to nistha, firm, fixed up faith, and then from nistha, then there is ruchi, one gets taste in devotional service, and then there is asakti, attachment, and then bhava, start emotion for Krishna, and there's prema, pure love of Krishna. These are, did I miss any other statements? They were the stages we're going through. So, Madhurya Kadambini is a book written by Vishwanath Thakur, where he analyzes the different stages. This verse about Shraddha, and then the anartha in the richer states, then he goes in and he analyzes the different stages in the anartha in the richer, where one actually also can get stuck in, and it's very, very useful to know these different pitfalls or like stages where one can somehow or another, because that's often where one gets in trouble in one's devotional service. We are on the working on the anartha in the richest states. That's a state that can go on for a long, long time, and there can be. It's not that it's completely, one is completely on anartha in the richi, and then boom, one is on nistha and complete. As they kind of also overlap, as the anarthas go a little way, then one's faith increases and strong, and the anarthas become less, but there's also some overlap. But the anartha in the richer states, it's a very, very big stretch. It's like, on a travel, and this is actually, this is really a big ocean. You have to cross the anartha in the richer states. So there are many, one can get stuck in many places. One can one ship can, if it's a ship, a ship can get stuck on different under reefs, undersea reefs, or like that. And so one has to, just like if one is a sailor, one has to know the ocean very well. Otherwise, one will get stuck on some underwater reef or something like that. So the different stages or different underwater reefs are being described. Obviously, not Tako in Madhuri Kadambini. I think it's 6 underwater reefs he talks about that one can get stuck at, and one should recognize them and see actually, this is not this is not pure devotional service, or I'm not in I'm still have
I have to go take the plates.
Is your telephone?
Yeah, no, it's not my telephone, but I was told to go early. So
Yeah. So, but also we can stop here, then you can take maybe another day and check these statements.
No,
No?
it's very important.
There's time for them. But haven't you discussed these statements by?
I think I heard them from you once, but a long time ago.
Okay. Yeah. I think I should go and read them, because I don't remember the Sanskrit names of them like that. So I just stop here.
We can just go through them quickly.
Because it's nice to get a whole lecture on them.
Yes, please do that.
You can do a seminar.
Maybe do that next on Thursday. Briefly, they are. What are they? That one is called thick and thin. I don't remember the exact thick and thin, and this means one's devotional service is very much affected by the external circumstance. If it's if one is going through, it's very easy to go through because the liquid is very thin. Then one is very enthusiastic. When it is, it's like, and sometimes one's devotional service becomes very thick when it's cold outside. Then the liquid becomes thick and starts cannot run so smoothly. So one's devotional service is affected by the external circumstance. That's one stage. There's a stage where one makes determinations but one cannot carry them through. One decides, I'm going to, follow all principles and get up, very early in the morning, and I'm going to chant and I'm going to be fixed and like that. One cannot execute one cannot carry through one's determination. And the stage where one is simply enjoying the waves of the ocean, but one is not diving down into the real deep ocean of devotional service. So one is simply, enjoying the facilities that come as a result of devotional service, or the respect and adoration that others are giving one because of devotional service. One is simply stuck on that. One says one's in a struggle with the senses, fighting with the senses, and so on. I should go and read it. But I don't remember exactly. Music. So that means also I'm definitely stuck on some struggling with these statements. So it's good to talk about them.
For Thursday?
Yeah, see if you can do something.
That would be.
What other statements in there? Gaura, you also a new scholar.
I never read that book. Just heard the name.
Did Prabhupada recommend that we should read this book, or isn't it already in Prabhupada's book? Yes.
It's Prabhupada doesn't. Yeah. It's there, but precisely the way that we should talk about Thakur goes through Prabhupada. I'm not aware of Prabhupada anywhere that he mentions in that order. And I also don't think I know Prabhupada recommended particularly Madhuri Kadambini, but it's useful because we can it's Prabhupada wanted us to read his books as first of all be really solidly situated in his books. But then also when one is solidly situated, one can also read useful literatures from our previous acharyas. It's all useful, but such things that are simply strengthening on the knowledge that has Prabhupada has given us. It's we always understand what we are reading, previous acharyas, actually anything when one gets in contact, one sees it through the knowledge one has received from one's own acharya, from Sri Prabhupada. And whatever is simply supporting that can be accepted also. That's also useful. So Madhuri Kadambini is a very useful book that devotees appreciate that. I think that even seminars being given sometimes on Madhuri Kadambini. It's not a very big book actually. It's like very condensed with knowledge, but not a very big book.
I was just wondering about this, that of course we should not be daydreaming, but also Srila Prabhupada, he said that we should tax our brains how to spread the Krishna consciousness movement.
That's not dreaming. That's
my question.
That's a function of the intelligence to be able to, you can visualize the few, goals, and then you can work towards goals. That's a different thing. It's part of actually you have sambandha, avideya, prayojana, where you analyze with intelligence. You understand the field where you are, the field of action. This is a situation. You understand the goal. What is the goal that you want to achieve, and then you understand the process and act. Execute the process to achieve the goal. So that's not. In one sense, you can say it. Yes, pure devotees also dream about. Like to spread Krishna consciousness. Probably have many dreams as such. You would like to see a temple there, a farm there, a university there, and so on. But it's when you're daydreaming, in one sense you're dreaming you're already there when you're not there. That's one thing. You're dreaming that we are extremely important, and I'm dreaming I'm very successful, and I'm very beautiful and intelligent, and so on. And we're not. There's also, in mode of passion, one, it's devotee is happy no matter what. It's not that his happiness is depending on that. In passion also, simply with dreaming is that you may be in a miserable condition, not even completely realizing. Because you're in a miserable condition, completely poor, but then you dream, I'll become rich, and how you'll be happy when you're rich. That's also the illusion in passion. But the devotee as such, he's not, he's completely happy and satisfied. Prabhupada was completely satisfied sitting under a tree in Vrindavan and having nothing. It's not that he was hankering for something more for himself, but he had an order from his guru to spread Krishna consciousness. But for himself, the devotee is, if the devotee can sit down somewhere and simply chant Krishna's name, he's completely happy. If he can sit down with another devotee and talk about Krishna, he's happy. So devotee is always happy in any circumstance. But still he has, for Krishna service, then he also he dreams about, he would like to do this and like to do that. And he prays to Krishna, may it become true. May the whole world become auspicious by everyone engaging in devotional service. He's dreaming like that, and he's praying to Krishna, may it happen, and he's also endeavoring.
I guess you already answered that, but I also think that it can also be more sense that you're dreaming that you're doing something very nice, spreading Krishna consciousness is already all over Denmark. I mean, like, as I said, if it's not like, we have a dream, we want to have a big, after program, but we don't do anything for it. And it's like, then it's in one sense also, we're bringing the daydreaming into it.
Yeah.
But I had another question, I don't know if you have time, about being useful. Like, it seems like everybody has a very great need to be useful. Like I was speaking with my sister some time ago, she was sick for quite a while, not able to go on work, and she said the worst thing was this, that she felt so useless not doing anything. And then also the other day on the lecture, Manila Prabhu spoke about you need to feel useful in Krishna consciousness to do something for Prabhupada. But it seems as a kind of a material and a spiritual, a pure way to feel useful, to be useful.
Yeah. I mean, if we're not, we definitely don't feel right or comfortable if we are if we are useless. It's very unsatisfying. If we want to do something useful in Krishna consciousness, again, it's also for the devotee. One can be in a state where one is cannot do anything, like maybe the last stage of one's life, when just the body might be completely paralyzed, and so on. And one can only think of Krishna, remember Krishna, and not seemingly do anything useful. But then again, when one is connected in Krishna consciousness in any form, then one is actually extremely useful, and the devotee will. Besides always being dissatisfied and not doing enough, but also one will be peaceful and say, this is how Krishna wants to utilize me now. And just like we have our Jaipatak Swami, now he's an invalid, and he'll remain invalid for the rest of his life, probably. So before, he was doing so much service like that. And now he's even doing more service. By his, first of all, it just goes on. Someone else is still involved in preaching and traveling and organizing. But I guess it must be somewhat limited also, But this example that he's showing now, by going on with full determination even in such a debilitated state, I think he's actually rendering more service by showing that and inspiring others also, and even that he did before, although he already did so much. I mean, so it's not that, someone may, you might get handicapped completely. You know him, Taxon. He had a stroke in 2008, and he's so one might feel, now I cannot do anything anymore useful. But actually, see, that's not, doesn't have to be like that. He is same amount of service. In my opinion, he's doing more service than he did before. So again, also you have to see that it's when one is connected in Krishna consciousness, even if it's only in smarana, remembering, it will turn out actually one is making a big difference. One is very useful. Madhavendra Puri was complete invalids on his last stages of life also. It happens to devotees. Just, like to everyone else, might, in old age we might become invalid and cannot even move, and even to have some, just to go to the toilet, someone has to help to clean up your urine stool afterwards, and like that might happen. That's happened to Madhavendra Puri. But from that stage, he exhibited also the highest level of devotional service, and inspired, everyone around, inspired Isvara Puri, and so he was as useful. Devotees, if we connect with Krishna, and our use is that Krishna can act through us. We don't have any. We don't have energy on our own and usefulness on our own, but we like an electric bulb. What is the use of these electric bulbs? Well, the use is that they can be connected to electricity, and then light can go through them. So similarly, we also, if we can be connected to Krishna, then Krishna's energy can go through us. And when Krishna's energy goes through us, then we are useful. Even no matter how it's gone through us. That's a use we want to be in Krishna acting through us. Is there any other definition of being useful? I'm asking.
No, I just mentioned the example with my sister.
Yeah.
Because it's a reflection that we want to do service.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Nature, so.
Yeah. It's a great, blessing to be able to render service. We cannot feel dissatisfied, frustrated, naturally. Okay, stop here. Thank you very much for your patience, attention, and devotion, and purity of heart, and all the wonderful qualities. Thank you. Srila Bhava, please.
Ja.